Alright YouTube, this is Denton Defender. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've posted anything with work and everything going on. It's been a little bit busy. But I got my truck behind me here and I'm getting ready to do some rust prevention and restoration. I've actually gone ahead and done a rust restorer underneath the entire undercarriage of the truck and the frame. Anything that I can reach to and areas that I can't reach, I actually have treated with some spray rust restorer. The product I was using is called Black Star, and it's a product used offshore that on oil wells and oil rigs and things like that, and it's done a really good job. I think I've got some video earlier of using that product, but if not, I'll show you a little bit later on. But went through the entire underneath and anywhere I could reach and spray with rust restorer, and it converts it into basically an organic black primed ready to paint material. And then I'm going back underneath in another day or so with some an Eastwood paint product, and this is their flexible sealer, which is kind of a rubberized undercoating, and so it also acts as a sound deadener and sealer, and so I'm gonna put that on there. Also going in with another Eastwood product, their internal frame coating, and this comes with a little 24-inch hose nozzle, this guy right here, and this cap just pops on the can. I've got this actually zip tied to a piece of coat hanger so that I can maximize the length of the hose without it binding up inside the frame, and I'm going to trim those zip tie tabs off, but that way I saw another guy do this on YouTube and it worked out really well, so I thought I would just copy his experiment. It seemed to be really effective. So anyway, that's going to go inside the holes of the frame, and it's got a nozzle on the end, jet nozzle, kind of like the Dimetrol treatment that you can get in the UK, and it just sprays the rust restorer and preventative inside the frame and encapsulates all the rust in there. So as you guys know, Defender frames are notorious for rusting and just giant holes. Matter of fact, I found an enormous cavity in the back here the other day, right by the rear member. They're terrible. So that'll be another project for another day, but hopefully get the inside of the frame nice and treated, and then get the underside done, and it'll be good to go for a long time. So we're under the truck, and I'm just going to kind of show you some of the treatment I've done under here. This has all been sprayed with the rubberized treatment and the coating. This ugly thing right here is the emergency brake, so I didn't bother with it. So, but every square inch I could get to under the frame or under the truck, I got to, and even treated inside the frame. I got Eastwood's interior frame treatment and went in the weep holes and treated the interior of the frame just to help longevity of the old truck. So like, you know, went in here and sprayed in both directions, masked these holes off on the outside to keep the overspray from happening. The wings underneath the wheel arches, underside of the spring, that's the shock stud. So I tried to get everywhere I could literally reach. A dirty thing up there is the mud flap, obviously. Got back here underneath, took the fuel cell out, sprayed all underneath there. I'm still going to spray this with back here with just a truck bed liner. This is the rear cross member. So I've got it cleaned up and rust neutralized. I'm just going to hit it with some truck bed liner to do what I can there. And if you see something I missed, please comment below. That would be a huge help. I'd appreciate it. So the other thing too, taking out these A-frames. So the big nuts that go through here, they welded themselves together, which that was awesome. I really appreciated that. And this guy here did the same. he welded himself pretty much shut after I started backing him off. And so I had to come in here with my angle grinder and cut this bolt away. And then after I did that, these guys came out okay, and then the whole A-frame dropped away, and it came out with the rear axle. And then I ended up having to cut both of those giant bolts away and in half. This is the driver's side. This is a right-hand drive vehicle, so this is the driver's side undercoating. Again, if you see anything I missed, comment below. Save a Defender. Alright, thanks guys, I'll be back with more. Alright guys, so you can tell I've got the rear axle off the truck, and just replacing a lot of the bushings. All the bushings in the suspension will get replaced. The axle over there on some jack stands. I got to clean this up, and I'm actually going to put some new paint on it and make it look nice. Shocks, suspension out here, got to clean those up. And those are going back in. Those are only just a few years old with very low miles on them and very little off-road use. So the shocks are going back on. Everything else will get replaced. This is the A-frame ball joint that's going to be getting replaced, brand new. Here you can see all the bushings that are going to go back in. I went with the orange polys. One, because they're two-piece and easy to deal with. Two, because they're poly. And three, because they're orange. And like I said in previous videos, the color of the truck is going to be black and orange. Here's a new A-frame ball joint. I went ahead and ordered it complete with this upper bracket. So this is going to go back in. And this actually articulates to 45 degrees, which is an upgrade versus the standard 33 degrees or something like that, I think, of the original one. So just a bit of advice when you're replacing this A-frame ball joint, these little sons of so's and so's can be a real pain in the butt. They're a 12-point bolt, and they're pink or red Loctited in, so they are for real in there. And this guy tried to round out on me, and ended up, this is what caused me to pull the entire axle out, because I couldn't have any room with the ball joint sitting on top here. I had no room to get anything in there to get him out. I tried vice grips, I tried a thread grabbing socket, I tried everything, but nothing was, I couldn't get the socket on. The vice grips weren't holding, so I just took the whole axle out. Eventually just took my wrench and hammered the wrench back over the top. Used about a 2-foot long breaker bar, aka the handle off my high lift jack. I just slid it down around the wrench, and then just cranked it around and got it out. But you know, that allowed me to get the springs off a lot easier. The new plus 2-inch terra firma springs are going to go back on. These are the plus 2-inch shocks. So I got the plus 2-inch heavy duty springs to go back in. Panels ready to go on. So I'll take you under the car, rather the truck, and show you a little bit of the rust proofing and undercoating that I've been doing. And I used an Eastwood product, which was a rubberized sealer and soundproofer, and have done the firewall here. And that's actually going to go back, I'm going to go back over with a heat tolerant paint and paint over that. This is paintable. You can paint it over whatever you want. So I'm going to use a heat resistant paint to go back over it. You can tell under here the frame I've treated the footwell here. I had this rust spot here that I rust converter on it first, then I went back over it with a fill-in primer, and then went back over it again with the rubberized sealer to keep everything out of there, and did the same on the other side right over here. So as well as up top, you guys remember that big hole that's up there. I wanted to get new metal in there, and I still may, but that was just my way of treating it to keep water out of it and keep it from getting worse. So you can tell these wires are all cut because this is all coming out, and I'm putting in a new painless wiring system. That will be happening here on the next stage. So. And a picture to go, and a picture to go, and a picture to go.
go.